And welcome back. Right now we're going to be talking about our future conventions and so on and so forth, panels and all that good old stuff. Do you want to start us off here, Lane?
Yeah, well, next on the list for the actual group is the biggest con, I want to say, in the Southwest right now, besides for Anime Expo, which is Saboten, coming up August 29th through September 1st in Phoenix, Arizona. Well, technically Glendale.
Right.
Some guests being there: Alex Tipton, Ian Sinclair, and Funimation is actually going to be there, gracing us with a presence from an anime industry for the first time in an Arizona convention.
Yeah.
Well, remember,
That's
we have
pretty
gotten
good.
over 4,000 people, too. And we got the
Yeah.
World Cosplay Summit.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yep.
The western region of the Cosplay Summit is coming through Saboten.
And hopefully they'll get us around an extra 500 to 1,000 people. If so, man, that'd be really good for the Forum Sabo.
Yeah.
I mean, there's already, rumor of it having to move after this year because it's gotten so big already.
I agree. I think it's probably going to end up, like I said, the Phoenix Convention Center, but I don't know if you can just rent levels of that place or not. I still don't know.
You probably can. And then after that, we have Kaikori in Flagstaff for the second year now.
That was a great con last year.
Mm-hmm. At the
I wish I
Little
would've
America
gone to that.
Hotel. Yeah, Little America, one of the best hotels in Flagstaff, in my opinion.
As of right now, we have Caitlin Glass.
Yes!
That's gonna be fun. Still waiting on more announcements for that. Let's hope we get someone else good too.
I know.
And in January, we have a choice between two. We have TaioCon, which has been a great convention. Thank you, Michael, by the way. Just got to throw that out there. For every year that I've gone there, which is now on the 16th through the 18th in the Mesa Convention Center. And the other choice, which is least likely but just an option, is Otakon Vegas.
I would love to go to Vegas. I've never been to Vegas before.
Neither have I. Taking it down to Paradise City. The grass is green. The girls aren't so pretty. Because I wouldn't mind doing TaioCon either. Kind of bringing it almost full circle for me, because my first convention was Phoenix ComiCon in the Mesa Convention Center in 2009. So that would kind of bring it like a full circle for me.
Yeah, like my first con was at Phoenix ComiCon at the Mesa Convention Center just a year prior to that.
Mine was actually Saboten, back when it was in Mesa.
Was it the very first year or the second year?
No, it was the year right before they moved into the Renaissance.
Okay, so yeah, then that was 2 years. That was 2 years after we'd went there, and that con was not good. Well, it was okay, but security was terrible.
The first convention I went to, which was Sabo, that one was a good one, and it got a lot better in 2012 when it went to the Renaissance.
Yes.
But last year it kind of lacked a little bit, but it was still overall good. The voice actors that they got were phenomenal.
Yes, they were.
Especially the fact that they got Yuko Miyamura. That's who I'm thinking of.
Yep, there we go.
And man, she is a tiny little lady.
Yeah.
She was short.
She was like
Oh, goodness.
4'5". She was very tiny. But I think like I've said since I've known you guys, that like I think one of the worst things about Sabo last year was that we only had, I'd say probably about like 16 different vendors, and that's all we had. Compared to the year before, when we had almost like triple that.
There were a few things wrong with Sabo. It was, for one, yes, the artist alley. Number two was the laser tag thing or whatever.
still say it would have been better if it was Airsoft.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was, and it was mostly just the people running it. The fact that their tagline was the same every single time. They didn't really have that for much of a... It seemed like they only had 5 songs throughout the entire convention that they played every
Well, at least
day.
they were good, though.
Yeah, they were good, but it's just kind of like... after you stood in line for about 4 hours total in just one day to meet a voice actor, it's just like, okay, I've heard this song, and I know I'm kind of being hypocritical because of the fact that I played Newey's theme 3 days in a row at Konnichiwa this year, but...
Yeah, never knew I could hate the Gorillas that much after Sabo.
Not just that, what do you call it, like, Rob Zombie also.
I know.
And their tagline that they kept using, they could have come up with something different every single time, but every time it
Come
was,
shoot your friends.
come make new friends, and then shoot them.
You know, that's
Go tell him to
what you really want to do.
and go tell him to suck a bag of dicks.
But the third thing was, compared to 2012, the quality of the panels was significantly less.
Yes, and once again, I gotta thank Michael for 2012 running the Dub Your Own Hentai. That was a phenomenal and hilarious panel. Absolutely hilarious.
Legitimately, last year at Sabo, the 2 panels I enjoyed the most were What Happens at the Con, Stays at the Con, and then Con Stories of Horror, which were both guest-based panels.
Mine has always been the How to Draw Sexy Ladies panel.
Yeah, man, Armin's a really good dude, man. Man, like he always makes his panels entertaining.
Yeah, and then Let's Play Idolmaster. It's always a good panel.
Yep.
But 2012, though, I think was the best convention as far as panels go.
Right.
That aren't guest run panels.
I would have to probably agree, man. That was a really good year, man. We went to a lot of panels that year, didn't we, Timmy? We went to, I think, like 6 to 8 panels, man. That's a lot for us.
We did a lot of different panels, and that's actually when the Kings game was the last time it was actually good, being ran by somebody who would get Buck Wild out there as opposed to whoever's running it now. No offense, but you guys are...
I think it's the
Kings
Renegades,
game is
dude.
not the Kings game anymore. Well, no, it's not the Renegades now. It's like the Key Run.
Oh, yeah, the key. Yeah. Well, like, it's like a PG-13 version of it now, when before, you know, it was a, you know, not R-rated, man. Like, it was like XXX almost. And, it was entertaining to say the least, but now, like, last year, we went there, and, I think the best thing we got was just this one chick eating another girl out through her clothes for like 2 minutes, and man, you know, that was about it.
Even like in anime based, you're supposed to like make the Kings game, you know, kind of, you know, wild.
Every demand is supposed to get worse.
Yeah. The one thing
But
I will say that was good is that there was a real brother and sister there, and it was kind of gross but kind of hot at the same time. I don't know why. Maybe because the chick was hot.
But in 2012, though, they had a lot of drawing panels where they actually taught you stuff. They had an actual panel about it's the group that made Higurashi. They had a panel about them there. They had, of course, all this stuff from Time Squad B, who run excellent panels.
Yes, they do. They run excellent panels.
Just overall, just really great panels that year. Whereas last year, I think I spent most of my time in the Artist Alley because of the fact that there was generally nothing as far as panels go.
Yeah, I would have to agree because me and Purvey only went to, I think, maybe like 1 or 2 panels. Other than that, man, we were in the game room and we just walked around a lot and just hung out and shit.
But really, the main thing I loved last year at Sabo, and I really hope it's this way again. My wallet doesn't, but I do. Is that otaku closet?
Yeah, and I'm gonna sign up for that too, man. I got some stuff to get rid of.
The amount of figures that I bought just in the otaku closet alone last year.
How many did you buy? Like 8, you said?
Yeah, it was like 8 just in the otaku closet alone, and I think it was 12 for the entire convention.
Holy shit, man.
And then I remember, I can't remember the other guy that runs the Dollars panel, the main guy that actually owns the PS3, but he was selling an Xbox for $1.
Really?
It was broken. Yeah.
Oh.
He's like,
That makes sense,
buy it for $1 and then you can go ahead and smash it.
Man, them are some fighting words.
So it's kind of like, I think like the few panels we attended last year between myself and Zombie, I know there was a few panels that we did attend that were actually pretty good.
Yeah,
I can't remember a lot of them, but I do remember a few here and there. Like we had, if I remember, it was Con Horror Stories. It was first. It was run by Tiffany Graham, Matt Greenfield.
Yeah, no, that was a pretty good panel.
That was really good. They explained so many different reasons for so many bad things that happen at cons.
The sheep.
And God, that wasn't even at a con. That was just them when they were in Jamaica.
Oh, that reminds me. Last year I went to a panel. It was supposed to be for Amanda Wynn Lee, but she couldn't make it. And Sabotin didn't let us know until the day of, like middle of the day of the convention. So she couldn't make it.
Sick,
So
right?
no, she had back surgery.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah.
So I can't remember his name, but the guy who does the voice for Gendo.
Oh God, I know who you're talking about too, because he does the voice of Death in Soul Eater.
Yeah.
I can never remember his name. He's a good voice actor.
We'll remember the moment we stop recording. But anyway, he's telling this story about, I think it was Anime St. Louis or something.
Oh, man, we were there.
When it was him and Monica Rial, and her just walking into a panel or something and saying, "Who's shit in the stairwell?"
We heard.
Yeah, man, we heard about
too.
that, man.
Because that was John Swayze.
Yeah.
John, there we go.
Yeah, because we were actually at his panel last year. Like, he was talking about one of the lines that... Because he plays a character in the game Borderlands, too. He was talking about how one of his lines got cut, and he's like... Because his yell was like, "It was like having 3 dicks."
I was in that panel.
Oh, you were?
I was in the front row.
Oh, we were near the back.
Oh, you were in the back. You were in the back.
He asked me to hold the mic for him.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
I don't even remember that.
It was at the very end of the panel.
Lane, the mic stand.
Yeah.
Like the other...
It was funny because I had a moment where I was just like kind of starstruck because he's like, "You, what's your name?" I'm like, "Well, because I can't believe he's actually talking to me." He's just like, "It's like you can't remember."
Like the other guest panel myself and Zombie had attended was Spike effing Spencer. I don't know what runs through this guy's head to be as funny as he is, but there's some weird stuff going on up there. I mean, what happens at the con stays at the con was his little thing or whatever.
He also had the...
This panel was like the greatest thing of him telling some of the funniest stories about it. One was about a group of guys going to save this chick who had fallen with like the wrong group of crowd, and they were like all dressed in like cosplay armor and shit. And Another one was like of him like at a con, like there was a tornado going by at the con, and he's just outside in a bathrobe with like a cigar and a glass of wine. He's like, "Hey, come at me, bro!" I'm like, "Oh God."
Then he also had a panel called "Don't Cook Your Date and Other Dating Advice."
Oh yeah.
Yeah, we didn't go to that one, but like we were thinking about it though.
And then I go up to get him to sign something for Shinji. He's like, "I'll make a man out of Shinji."
Yeah, man, he hates him with a passion.
But yeah, in the West, the best part about what happens at the con stays at the con panel. Zombie can attest to this, and so can Derek if he ever comes on here. I literally like he's asking like if anyone had any questions. I raise my hand. He calls on me like, "What's Shinji's favorite Linkin Park song?"
And everyone was all like, "Now that's funny."
He's like, "Oh no, I don't know Linkin Park."
And for anyone listening, I haven't known these two for that long.
Since TireCon of this
Yeah,
year.
man, it's, like since January.
So half a year.
Yeah, pretty much.
It's funny, we actually first met at a panel that I was running at Phoenix ComiCon.
Yes, it is true in 2012.
Wasn't
Or no,
the best meeting.
13.
Yeah, 13, my bad.
Wasn't the best meeting ever.
Fuck, you're number one.
Such a biased list.
Get out of here, we don't need you anyway.
Yeah, man, it was good though. It turned out good in the end though.
Yeah, and then ran into each other again at Tayo.
Yep, and then that's when we start talking about how people don't give like Kill la Kill the respect it needed and all that stuff, and then we started up about
Forming our own panel group, coming up with suggestions for panels.
exactly not running like mainstream stuff, and that's pretty much what we did for Phoenix ComiCon.
Even though our hashtag ship it panel turned into a mainstream
Yeah,
shit contest.
yeah,
Not
it did.
gonna happen this time.
Yeah.
But overall, though,
Yeah. I guess. Go ahead.
or sorry, but overall, though, for Phoenix ComiCon, we ran what 5 panels, and 4 out of the 5 was standing room, pretty much.
Well,
Yeah.
if look at it this way, 5 out of the 5 were all over half full.
Yeah, that's true too. And that's pretty good.
With 4 of them being sold out.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true.
Sorry, Team 4-Star, you got beat out. No offense, guys.
Dude, no joke, man. Not to toot our own horns, man, but I didn't hear anything about Team 4-Star.
Mm-hmm. Neither did I.
So hopefully we'll have panels at Sabo.
I know, me
Yeah.
too.
Speaking of next year, we've been tossing around ideas for the cons of as of next year. I mean, we've got 3 sitting on our dartboard right now. SoccerCon, well, 4 if you want to count Expo. SoccerCon, Anime LineCon 2015, and ACon 2015.
And it seems...
So,
There's also
who knows-
ASIN.
Or, sorry, go on.
There's
Also
also
ASIN.
ASIN.
That's true. Like I said, we're tossing darts at the board right now, trying to see which one would be better for us to go to.
And I think it's leaning a little bit more toward Akon, but we're still not totally for sure.
To me, it's kind of coming down to like Anime or Akon. Really, I do want to go to Akon because I haven't been to Texas before, and figured why not go to a state where everyone could point a gun at me just for saying something wrong.
Yeah, no, yeah, like, thanks, Derek. If you ever hear this damn episode, thanks for, saying what you said at Albuquerque.
Almost getting us killed.
Yeah, I was getting shot by the Albuquerque PD.
You have no room to talk. You were in the room sleeping when this happened.
You couldn't tackle a donut.
Going the wrong way down the one way.
Oh, God, not that story.
If we ever bring like Shane on as like a special guest for one of these, we'll talk about that story.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure we will. What else do we have?
Yeah. Well, of course, we're gonna have those are our summer ideas for conventions. Towards the fall again, we have the idea of Sabo, but going back to back with non-DesCon over in like Colorado Springs. I think
it's Denver.
Yeah.
Yeah, like Denver.
No, it's Colorado
Oh,
Springs.
it is? Well, shit, man. That's a long way away, man, from Denver.
Not really.
It's about like an hour's drive, isn't it?
Yeah, but that's not
Yeah, but
that
we're
bad.
flying there. We're flying there. So.
Well, yeah, no, man, but no. Like, what I'm saying is that, like, the international airport is in Denver. Colorado Springs is like,
That's true.
yeah, man, it's like 80 miles away. I think it's like 60 to 80 miles away. But yeah, I think I'm down for it more than likely.
And, after that, of course, we got our repeat performance for KikoriCon. So, hey, keep your fingers crossed out there for us. So start getting panels for Sabo and Kikori this year. So hopefully we get it next year as well.
And also, if you actually like our panels, recommend us to like Greg and Michael.
Exactly, because they can.
Even if you're from out of state, recommend them to your guys' conventions too.
Exactly. Like most of the time, like panel guests aren't really invited, but at least they could talk about us on Twitter, and we could always see if people want us to go somewhere.
If pretty much the thing is if you talk about us and say, these guys are great, we love their panels, the more likely we are to get our panels accepted. That's the thing. It's not that we'll get invited, it's just we'll be more likely to get our panels accepted because they're getting the positive feedback of our panels. Well, we also got to talk about the panels we hope to run or panels that we do run.
I do know for right now, one of our mainstay panels hopefully will be #ShipIt, since we all kind of agreed on that idea. One terrible night at TayuCon, walking to and from Sonic, which was a terrible idea.
It's funny how the name of that came out of a picture that I took of Kyoko and Sayaka.
Hopefully, its staple is going to be anime seasons, man. I love helping run this panel.
It's really fun to do, especially now that we're actually throwing in like either the opening or the ending to it. Because seeing the reaction people get off of something or another from that. Because that's kind of the one thing that made me smile while we were running that at Comic-Con, just seeing people's reactions to I was like, hey, I know that show, or I watched that show, like, yes, this is an awesome song.
I agree. And not to mention, we want to do more adult panels, because let's face it, adult panels here in Arizona, for what I've seen, are really, well, it's not necessarily they're bad, it's, what do you call it?
They're lacking.
Yes, they're very lacking, and I'm sorry, guys, no offense or anything, but freaking fan fiction at night doesn't count as an adult panel, and
it doesn't really.
And what do you call it? A Homestuck 18 and up panel? No, I'm sorry, guys, it's not anime. It's not anime related. I'm sorry, I went on that little bitty rant right there, but
yes. I agree. Like the last good, I think, hentai panel Comic-Con last year, and it was Jacob and Mike from Baku hosting the Dub Your Own Hentai panel.
Not just that, man, but I think Michael gave them a good run too, man, for their money, man. That was an excellent panel in 2012, man, that he ran.
So it was so much fun for the Baku one last year, though.
Yes, it
was just them dubbing Bible Black and just them making that joke of here.
Yeah, that was pretty good.
As you can tell, we do not pander to any specific group of anime fans.
Exactly. We pander to everyone.
Even the Westerns.
We may disagree with you, but
we're fair.
Why do you think we had Space Dandy on our way?
Exactly. Where's Redline? Where's Akunohana?
Don't get me started.
But I think that's I think those are the ones that we want the most, as like mainstays. Oh well, we didn't really talk about the hentai panels. One that we hope to be a mainstay is A Guide to Fucked Up Hentai.
It's going to be our own little version of Time Forcer Nubis' little panel that he hosts at Anime Boston, Kineticon, places like that back east.
And also make sure to go check out she'slostcontrol.net. Like, Anubis is a really good guy.
Also check out NTR Radio Podcast.
Yes, they're really good too.
Especially that George Costanza guy.
Oh my gosh. I mean, we're bagging on VZ.
I think that's about it for convention talk. I believe we have a little bit of news coming out of the anime world. So,
And
what's on?
First off, this is Anime News of the Week. Not really any, so this first story I'm going to talk about, I know this is last week, but since this is our first live cast, why not? Funimation announced last week that they have acquired the rights to Free.
Eternal Summer.
Fanboys, fangirls, keep your fingers crossed. We get season 1 because it happens. It's going to be a miracle.
Yeah, man. I don't know what Funimation was thinking, saying that they just got the second season. I'm like, well, why wouldn't you get the first?
Well, I think that's because they want to see how popular Free is actually.
I think it's pretty
I
damn
mean,
popular.
I know.
If they would,
Well,
well,
I mean,
if
I
they
know
would put season 1 out here, they would see how popular it is. That thing would sell like hotcakes.
kind of like the same thing with dubbing Part 3 of JoJo's first.
I still don't see the idea.
Yeah, no, I don't get it either, man. Like, Viz just...
I mean, it's like I said, it's not like I'm going to, not watch it, but it's kind of confusing because people who are going to try to get into JoJo's through Part 3 is going to have no idea what's going on.
I agree. I think Viz has their head so far up their asses right now, they don't know what to do.
Well, we're talking anime. I don't know who has the anime, actually. I know they have the manga.
Oh, yeah, that's right, they do. Who the hell has the anime?
Because all I know right now is that the first 3 episodes of Dove are supposed to stream on Crunchyroll. We haven't heard if anybody's picked it up. I'm kind of expecting either Funimation or Aniplex to pick it up, so...
Yeah. Any other news?
So anyway, yes, this second piece comes out from a couple of days ago. For anyone that's last fall anyway, there's a series called Beyond the Boundary that came out last year. Recently, this week, it was announced that Beyond the Boundary is actually getting a movie.
Are you squidding me?
First off, yes, are you squidding me? And second off, this really does seem like a bad idea because despite all the hype, it just was a bad show.
It was. I'm sorry, Koi Annie.
Koi Annie, I think, has gotten to the point of if a season of anime does not sell well for them, they say, screw it, we're not doing a season 2, we'll do just a movie. And I mean, you can kind of see that with Tamako Market, and then you got Chunibyo, which I think there was like 1 or 2 movies for that, I don't remember. And now you're getting 1 movie, so yeah, it's supposed to come out here, or it came out after season 2 or whatever. Then now we got Beyond the Boundary, which all 3 of those anime did not sell worth pretty much a damn, unfortunately.
And
why, like, their highest selling anime right now is legitimately Free.
Man, it makes me wonder what Koi is going to do next.
Well, they have the amusement park anime.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Amagami Brilliant Park.
Yeah. So we'll see if that turns out to be something.
Amagami SS?
No.
No, but I think
nothing will be as good as that.
I think their show for Amagami is more of their style. I think.
Well, no, actually, shows like Haruhi, shows like Lucky Star. I'm not going to mention K-On! Because...
We love K-On!
I mean, K-On! Was good. I just wish their art style would kind of go away from K-On! I wish it would go back to, like, what Haruhi was. You
bring up K-On! That's another thing. They They did it with Haruhi too. Jesus Christ, they didn't even get a season 3 out of it. We got a movie out of it.
Well,
they did the same, and they did the same thing with K-On! Too.
Well,
season 2 ended, hey, let's go to Britain in a movie.
Season 3 for Haruhi, the reason why we didn't get that is because of the main voice actress for Haruhi.
Yeah,
Who has a lawsuit, if I believe right, who has a lawsuit going against Kyoto Annie, which is just...
Yeah, it's kind of a running theme with Koei Annie. It's like, hey, this doesn't sell well, let's just do a movie. And it's kind of getting tiresome, because I don't want to see that out of them constantly. Like, hey, this don't sell well, let's just do a movie and be done with it.
But then again...
It's not a good business idea.
But then again, though, Kyoto Annie, their second seasons really haven't been good.
Well, I think K-On! Was good for a second season. I don't think it was as popular as the first, but...
If you look at what they did with the Endless Eight, you look at Chinibyo Season 2, they just fail at making a second season.
Please don't disappoint us with Free.
I don't know, from the first episode, we haven't been...
I know, man, that was a real good
Eternal
first episode.
Eternal Summer, the next Endless Eight.
Oh, God.
Because summer never ends.
Yeah, but you know what I expect them to do next year is I'm a K-On! In college.
Yeah.
That would be nice of them to do that, because, we should legitimately get to see that.
Either that, or they're going to go back to the high school setting to where there's, all new members, pretty much.
So there would be, Azusa and Ui and...
And, the 2 or 3 other new girls that are in the manga and shit.
Yeah.
But so far, the Free looks really good.
Story coming up.
And with that said, our next piece of news for anyone that actually could see through the tears in their eyes after the end of the final episode of Love Live Season 2, could see that we are officially getting a movie for Love Live, which
Praise
will
be
hopefully
to
come out.
Hoka.
5th anniversary project is pretty much what it's called, and should be released sometime next year.
I'm excited for this.
From what we understand, it's supposed to be all original to an all original story.
Yes. So I'm
kind of hyped for that. So, niece, if you're listening, I know you're at Expo right now. You probably won't hear this in time, but I know you guys have season 2 in your pocket somewhere. Keep your eye out for that movie, huh?
Speaking of that, first season DVDs get released here in America. DVD and Blu-ray get released here September 2nd.
one day after Sabo.
So tell niece to shut up and take your damn money.
Good job, niece.
That would be it for our news stories.
Well, unless you want me to actually take a look and see if I can find another news story to talk about. So anyway, that's the 3 biggest news stories for the podcast this week, because we've already talked about AX.
And with that, we will head into our second break, and we will be back shortly.
We'll be right back.
Stay tuned.